this is Primal Wolf here, and we're going to be talking about Chapter 6 because I didn't get to do that because I got sick and I just wasn't feeling good. So we're going to talk about like a brief of Chapter 6. If you haven't seen it, I would, go read that chapter. But Chapter 7 came out today, so we're about to like deeply get into that because we got a lot of information out of this chapter. It was like 22 pages long. So we got a lot of information in Chapter 7, so let's get into Chapter 6. So in Chapter 6, we start off with like the battle between the Shins. We find out the dude with all the eyes on his body, his name is Shin 2. So we get that. We didn't get anything much more of that in Chapter 6 except for his name is Shin. We get like a little battle, a little brief of his abilities. Somehow his abilities is kind of like moving weapons or something like that, because in the chapter we get Sasuke's weapon. He controlled his weapon and made it stab Naruto or something like that. So basically, Naruto and Sasuke is a little bit rusty. They haven't fought like probably anybody good in a while, so they rusty. Naruto should have dodged that attack, and then Sasuke, even though he was protecting his daughter from the shurikens, getting his daughter, he still could have did something. So he got stabbed in the back. So basically, Naruto and Sasuke is a little bit rusty. They haven't probably fought nobody good in a while, so we get that in this chapter. And then we get Sarada put some work. She put some work on them Shins. She punches the Shins. They get knocked out. They got a big old hole in them or something like that. And then we get the little chibi. It came out of nowhere, scooped them all up. What's her name? Sakura. She gets like caught up in a little vortex, little ball thing, and now she has to do some medical ninjutsu on the two Shins, basically like sacrificing the little Shin, putting some organs in the big Shin. So we get that. That was basically Chapter 6, and now in Chapter 7 we get the same thing. Sakura's talking to Shin, saying, "Why you doing this? Why I gotta sacrifice your son?" And then he's talk about like life and death, how you basically you evolve with like life and death. Like basically you have to sacrifice somebody in order to be better. War makes you evolve, stuff like that. Then he talks about how the other Shins are clones of himself, and that also his teacher is Orochimaru. So Orochimaru is like he's starting some stuff again, which is ridiculous because the Hidden Leaf should have at least put him in jail or did something, because Orochimaru was always starting something. Now he's the cause of like this experiment basically, with all the Shins being clones of the big Shin. And then he talks about how like genetics and genes, and how like two parents make a like better child to be more powerful for war, how war makes people evolve and stuff like that, which is, he gets deep in it. He basically is telling like why he wants war, because he wants people to be like better or something like that. I don't know. And then we get Sasuke and Naruto going into Orochimaru's hideout. So they sneak in. We get Captain Yamamoto. We see him. He looks so old, man. He looks so old. Like in the manga thing, he looks so old and like tired and stuff. And then so after that, they get into the hideout, Orochimaru. We see Taka, like we see Sugetsu and Jugo, so they're still alive. So like in the past, I thought they was dead because we haven't seen them, but now we see them and they still alive. They just following Orochimaru, and now we see Orochimaru and he looks freaking young. He looks like a little girl or something like that. So I don't know what Orochimaru's been going on. He take over somebody else's body. I don't know. So we get that. We don't see Karin in the hideout. We find out Sugetsu says that she's in another hideout and she's not there because Sarada asks him about where's the girl that's in the picture that he has. And Sugetsu tells her that she's not there. She's in another hideout. And then we get Orochimaru explaining that he did the experiment. He made clones but made them human. Like they're like shadow clones. They're shadow clones, but they're human. They don't like poof when they get beat up. They actual die. They actually die. You have to like kill them in order to like defeat the clone. So that's what he been doing. He making clone human things, and that's what that Shin and all the other Shins came from. They came from Orochimaru. So Shin escaped from Orochimaru or something like that, or unless he's probably still working for him, but they don't really explain that. Orochimaru just says, get Shin, get him off my hands. He sucks and stuff like that. So we get that. Then we get Sarada asking Sugetsu about like I said, Korean and where she at and stuff like that. And then he asks her about some kind of, if that's her mom and stuff like that. So Sugetsu jumps in. They do some kind of like DNA paternity test thing, and then they do the test. They find out that I guess Corinne has some kind of hair or something in her desk. I don't know. Maybe it's not even her hair. Maybe it's Sakura's hair. So, but that wouldn't make sense. But we got Corinne. We find out they do a test. We find out that Sarada's mom is Korean because that's what the test says. Everybody's crazy. Naruto didn't know it. They calling Sasuke a scumbag because what's going on. And Sarada's like, she's like legit pissed off and mad because she been living with somebody that's not her mom, and she doesn't know anything about Korean, which is crazy because why is Korean in another hideout for one, and why haven't she been taking care of her daughter, and why is they pretending that Sakura's her mother if she's really her mother? So we get that whole paternity test thing all over again. Maybe we'll get the truth later on in the chapter. So, and another thing that I wanted to think about was, why is Orochimaru in another body if not a girl? Like, what if Orochimaru took over Korean's body? Like, what if that happened? That's why she's not there, because she's always there. So why come she's not there all of a sudden when everybody else is there, and then Orochimaru looking young like a girl? So what if that's what happened to Korean? Maybe Orochimaru had to take over somebody's body, and Korean took over. Korean stepped up and said that you can take over my body after I give birth to my daughter, and she gave the daughter to Sasuke and Sakura to take care of. So that's basically what I think happened. Korean is probably Orochimaru. He probably took over her body, stuff like that. So yeah, if you haven't read this chapter, I would tell you to go read it. We get like a little color in the beginning chapters, and then we get back to like the black and white. So if you haven't seen chapter 7, I would suggest you to go watch it. It was really long and really interesting. We get a lot of details in it. I will tell you to go watch it. And if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That'd be greatly appreciated. And I'll see y'all next week in chapter 8. Peace out, guys.